The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I fear no evil because I'm blind to it all. In my mind, and my gun that comfort me, because I know I'll kill my enemies when they come. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell on this earth forevermore. Said I walk beside the still waters and they restore my soul, but I can't walk on the path of the right because I'm wrong. Well, I came upon a man at the top of a hill, called himself the savior of the human race. Said he come to save the world from destruction and pain, but I said, how can you save the world from itself? 'Cause I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I feel no evil because I'm blind. Oh, and I walk beside the still waters and they restore my soul. But I know when I die, my soul is damned.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to McStabber Studios, Old Gods of Appalachia, the Blood Debt. I am, of course, the voice of the mountain, also known as the Game Master, Shanky McStabber.
I am Mama McStabber, and I am playing Lovey McBride, a uppity sage who crafts powerful objects.
Hello, I'm Mischievous Red, and I'm playing Gertrude Swanson, otherwise known as Gertie, who is a superstitious handywoman, otherwise known as Protector, who manifests the mountain.
Hello, I am Sailor Lanhi. I will be playing Julia Sinclair, a mystical sage who becomes the beast.
I'm Irian, and I am playing Wade Gilpin, a lucky explorer who walks these woods.
Hi, I'm Ford. I'm playing Ryan McKay of the U.S. Marshals, and I am protector of this area of the woods, and I know things that are unknowable.
Hi, everybody. I'm the Reverend Archon, and I'll be playing Preacher Joseph Matthew Green, who is an industrious speaker who serves the green.
First off, let me thank you all to the very first episode of our Blood Debt miniseries. Most people who look at South Gap don't see much. Just over 300 souls are barely even considered a town by many. But it's a town full of hard-working, salt-of-the-earth types. Farmers, trappers, even some tradespeople. Hell, they even have electricity in a few of the places. Many ways, they're a typical rural town. But these mountains, they're anything but. As you look deep into the stones beneath your feet, you will find an ancient hunger. A hunger that screams to be fed your fears, your hopes, and most of all, your blood. Walk carefully around these hollers, lest you wake the sleeping beasts. And watch out for the weeping tree. As we open up here in South Gap. It's the Harvest Festival. Time of year where they celebrate bringing in all the crops. They have had a good year. It's been a bountiful year for everyone involved, both the farmers and those who hunt out in the woods, even the various ones who sell the pelts. They have made a good living. This year, it's been bountiful all around, almost. It's one of the best years in living memory. So the Harvest Festival this time should be great. As we open up, we're actually going to open up in the center of town around the tree. Now, this tree they always call the burnt cedar. Nobody knows why. It doesn't look burnt to you. But that's where this is always held. And as we're moving in on everybody, move my thing here real quick. So much I got to do here. Adeline Witt, head of the Witt, well, wife of the head of the Witt family, calls out, "Hey, preacher, man, can you give me a hand here? We need to move some of these tables over."
Of course, Adeline, of course. Please call me Joseph. Ain't no fancy titles around here. We're not in my tent. Come on.
Now, you know, preacher man, I can't do that. You want to help me move these tables? We got a lot of food going to be coming here. I know that Ellie Jane's going to probably send Miss Lovey over here with some food, so we need to get this set up. Move this over here.
You tell me where you want it, and I'll put it down for you.
Just move it over there by the tree. That'll work fine. Did you hear the news? Marshall come into town.
Somebody got in the ways of the crime?
No, I think he's here for the Harvest Festival. Good year for us. You know, doing his rounds, he figured he'd come show up to the festival. Everyone wants to be here for this.
All right. Just making sure that nobody needs salvation.
Oh, well, good Lord, take us. Hopefully bring us to a better place in the end, right?
We are bountiful, my friend. We are bountiful,
that's right.
sister.
Go ahead and move that over there. I need to go. Miss Julia, can you give me a hand here? We need to get some of these tablecloths put on the tables.
Yeah, I can help.
And you can tell that she's brought out the fancy tablecloths. These are not, well, this is a sign of her money and her status in the town. Very nice, soft, white linen tablecloths that are still white, which says a lot. Now, can you put these on the tables over there?
Yes, I can do that.
Good. I'm just trying to get this all set up. And watch out for old Remy over there. He's prowling over there, looking and poking. Watch out.
He's probably just looking for some food.
Yeah, but you know he likes to get a little handsy and try to pinch the bottoms of any girl walking by. So you might want to watch out for that.
You want me to have a talk with him, Miss Witt?
I mean, you could, but you know, first of all, he ain't gonna hear you.
I can use my voice.
I mean, you can try. He don't listen anyway, that damn old coot. Don't know why we keep putting him as mayor.
Well, you know, age is akin to wisdom most of the time, Miss Witt.
That other brain old man, he ain't got no wisdom left. Come on now.
Let me move these tables for you, Miss Sinclair.
And as everything's getting set up, we're actually going to flash over to the library as Mr. Wade Gilpin is closing up because he's got to attend the Harvest Festival himself with Miss Gertrude Swanson there, Gertie, who's been helping him out. So I'm going to turn it over to you two for now as we give you
Gertie.
Hey, Wade, you want these books just over here?
Sure. You when you have time, I got a couple of shelves that want to fix, and do you have time to help?
Absolutely. I mean, we got to get to the festival, so anything I can do to help, really.
All right. Anything I can give you a hand with?
Let's be honest, Wade. I'm the heavy lifter here.
Yeah, well, I'm just offering.
You're the lucky one. Hopefully this will be a good festival year.
Oh, I hope so. Everybody seems to be bringing a lot of things for the festival, so it looks to be going to be pretty good.
I heard we all had a marshal coming into town.
Yeah, I don't know what. I mean, they say he's just here to see the show, but I hope there's nothing else going on. Not that I've heard of, anyhow.
I mean, who knows? I haven't seen any omens for something going on, but who knows? It is the time of year.
That's right.
So you all sitting apart about fixing the shelf. I mean, it's not a big library, but it's what you have. Nice thing is that Mr. Robert Witt Sr., he's the one who had donated the money to have this built out of, I'm sure, the kindness of his heart. Now we're going to flash over to the South Gap Inn and Boarding House. Ellie Jane, who runs it. Lovey, can you come in here a minute?
Just a moment, Ellie Jane. She adds some more seasoning to the pot on the stove and gives it a quick stir. Tastes it. All right, that's good. Let that simmer. And she takes off her apron, hangs it up on a peg, and walks out into the main lobby area. What you need, Ellie Jane?
I'm just trying to make sure everything's in order. It's supposed to be a big year for us.
I know. I just got the final dish on the stove. It needs about 5 minutes to simmer, and then it'll be ready to put up in the serving dish and get ready to go.
We got the venison stew, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure. This everyone's going to be there. And even the marshal going to be there. And, bless my soul, I like when the marshal comes by.
Oh, I know you do, Ellie.
Hey, look, my husband been dead a while. I'm kind of getting soft on him. I admit it. Nothing like a man in uniform.
So they say.
Yeah, he never stays here in the boarding house, though. It's too bad.
Yes, well, I'll be done in about 5 minutes and then ready to dish everything up. Do you have help coming to take all this food?
Oh, yeah. The Wits said they're sending their boys over. That means they're probably going to take a couple of biscuits with them.
Luckily, I made extras for the help.
I'm glad. I'm sure known Adeline, she may send the preacher over to help too. He's always trying to move stuff around and all.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Now, I don't know why you two don't get along. I mean, he's a good man.
Let's just say there's some things we disagree on.
Y'all should really put that behind you.
Oh, I don't think he's necessarily a bad person. Now, the company he keeps at times is questionable. But, needless to say.
I've never heard anything but good things said about the preacher man.
I'm sure.
But you go ahead and finish the food.
Of course.
I'm going to tidy up around here. I mean, we don't have any borders right now, so we're good on that one. So I'm going to head over. So once the boys come grab the stuff, you come on over to the festival. Just make sure, the stove's all, what to do.
I know what to do, Ellie Jane. Don't you worry your little head about it.
It's a big year for big time. It's important.
You just get yourself all prettied up for that there, Marshal.
And she gets this kind of a blush and kind of scuffs her feet a little bit.
And of course, Lovey has like a sackcloth towel on her arm, and she rips it up and pops her on the rear end as she goes.
Now, Lovey, you keep that up, you're going to be sleeping outside.
No, I ain't. You know better.
Yeah, because then I'd have to cook the food again.
That's right.
And she scurries up the stairs. Speaking of the marshal, we're going to flash to the marshal. Marshal, you're doing your rounds. You stopping in at the general store, of course. Important to check in on that. And of course, it's open still. They ain't quite closed up. They will be. That's kind of important. But
I'll make my way up to the door there, and
old Smitty's out
saunter
front as
in.
you're walking up. Hey, Marshal, how you doing?
Hey, Smitty, how you doing there?
I can't complain. Nobody listens around here anyway.
Oh, yeah, that's how it always seems there.
Hey, you heard anything good from out of town? I've been hearing this rumor that the railroad's going to be coming this way.
Oh, I hear something to that effect there. The railroad people are always up and down and through these hollers.
Yeah, they want to run.
I expect it might come through for too much longer.
They talking about running a line from Newtown down to Clinton, back through here. Nobody believes me when I tell them they're going to do it, but I mean, I've heard, I listen to things. And, I talk a lot too, but.
Yeah. I wouldn't be too surprised there. Haven't had much dealings with railroad recently. I've had other stuff that the job's been demanding there, but
Nice thing about the railroad is as they're coming through, the workers, they got to have something to do when they're not toiling away.
that's right.
Except when they're digging through the mountains. I've heard powerful bad things happen to there when they dig through the mountain.
Yeah, I've heard something to that effect myself.
I know Gabriel's not in there, but Trinity, she's in there if you go inside and talk with her.
Sure. Well, hey, you take care of yourself there, and seeing you for the festival. I'm going to be sticking around here a little while.
I'm good. Glad. I plan to be there because Ellie Jane bringing out the food, and I'm not one to turn down a free meal,
Oh, no, not at all.
And
Don't run off our stomachs.
And as you said, go inside. Trinity Hartman, she's, I put her mid-30s. She's sweeping up the floor a little. She's clearly getting ready to close up. How you doing, Marshall?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Business been good. It's been a good year. So
Good.
a lot of good trade going on with the people bringing in stuff that I can send back to get more stuff.
Well, that sounds right good.
Glad you're here, though.
Yeah.
There's been some issues, if you don't mind, when you just keep an eye on stuff. Little
Sure.
odds and ends keep disappearing from in here.
That's interesting.
Yeah, just little things, my favorite hairbrush disappeared, which.
Really?
Yeah, and Gabriel, he's so proud of that mustache. His mustache wax walked off and left too.
I see.
Yeah, if you hear anything, I know it's an odd thing to go walking around town. You've seen a brush, but Marshall, keep an eye out. It's just weird. We normally don't have things walk away like that.
That's true. That's not too common for things to walk away like that there. I'll keep my eyes open.
Well, I thank you, Marshall.
Anytime.
Can I get you anything? You want a sweet?
Oh.
I got some sweets over there. You can get you a butterscotch if you want.
Oh, I'm not too much in the sweets right now, but you know what? If you got a cold Coca-Cola there, I'd be really nice.
I'm sure I can find one somewhere.
Sure.
It's not that cold. I got the ice chest, but we need to get some more ice in, so it's not that cold right now.
I understand. Says, well, what have you got available? I'll take.
And she heads in the back, comes back out with very old. It's the old-timey bottles. Wow. Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
You just pop it right there on the edge of the counter. We got got it mounted up to make it easy.
No problem. I'd pay her for it and go ahead and pop it off.
You don't need to give it. Marshall, you don't need to pay me for that.
Hey. Don't you worry.
We appreciate it, but
I was willing to help out here.
We always trying to look out for the law around here.
Well, I always try and look out for you all here. You all are good people, and I'll make sure everything's stable and secure.
I'm glad for it. And
yeah.
As you hang around a little bit longer, because you don't want to carry the bottle around town and all.
No, I'm just having my drink and taking it easy and staying out of the way a bit, keeping an eye on things.
And nobody seems to be coming in here. It seems most of the people are either already getting at the Harvest Festival, setting things up, or they haven't arrived in town yet. Got to make their proper entrance, apparently.
I think it's time that I head that direction then.
I'll be seeing you soon.
You betcha. I'll catch you soon.
I'm about to close this up and see if I can kick old Smitty off the front porch.
Give him a little bit more time. He just needs a little bit more time himself up there.
I just remind him there's going to be some free food up there. He'll move out pretty quick.
If you need to kick him off, that's the best way to do it right there. Is just let him know that there's food.
As skinny as he is, I don't know where it all goes. Man, he eats and eats and eats, and it don't go nowhere.
Some people's like that,
Yeah, some. I guess he got a hollow leg or something where it all just collects down there.
Don't they all?
And as you head out, as you can hear her going to the back, put away to close up the last, and there's a crowd starting to gather down in the center of town around old Burnt Cedar there. Lovey, you've had the boys, the Wit boys came, 4 of them.
Yep, and she had crates that had crocks of the food that needed to be kept warm, and then some that was put on some ice to keep cool. And she handed them off the crates and gave them each some biscuits so that they could have a snack for their work.
Now, the older of the boys, they're not even boys anymore. They're really
They're
just
grown
men
men.
at that
Mhm.
that point. They seem to be pretty good about minding their manners. But the two youngest, 10 and 12, they're asking a lot of questions about what's in each dish.
Oh, and I tell them in detail.
You can tell that they're planning on something when
If you mess with my cooking, I'll curse you and all your descendants.
you wouldn't do that. My daddy'd have you run out of town.
Your daddy could try. And
And
she just smiles.
The oldest, Robert Jr., he smacks his little brother on the back of the head. You mind your manners, boy. Don't be getting daddy involved in stuff. Daddy got enough on his mind. You just do what Lovey
messing
says.
with my food now.
And he looks over. I'm sorry, Lovey. Youngins, you know how they is.
Oh, indeed, indeed. Especially around that age, the boys like to get a little spiteful.
I was at that age, too.
I'm sure.
I've gotten better. We get older. But we're glad to help with this.
I appreciate the help, and so does Ella Jane. And now y'all help yourself to those biscuits I put in the bags for you.
I'll make sure that they don't, stick their thumb in the pie or anything.
Yes, they should not do that because I will know. I've taken a good look at y'all's hands handing you crates. I'll know whose thumb it was.
And the youngest, he kind of looks away. Like, he feels like he's been busted.
I promise there's enough pie for everybody.
And they shuffle out, leaving you a chance to head over.
Yep, I get freshened up a little bit. And because cooking is, that's heavy work. And so she gets freshened up and puts a hat on and grabs her bag and locks up because Ella Jane's already left. And she locks up the boarding house and heads on to the square.
And as you get to the square, you see Wade and Gertrude coming out of the library because it's not far from the square, the center of the town. Library, general store, the important parts are right there. You notice Julia's out there. Adeline Witt's got her pretty busy.
Her to death, of course.
Yeah, pretty busy out there. Old Remy seems to be floating around. He keeps trying to get close to the women, but the women know how about old Remy, and they're having none of that.
Mm-hmm.
Even Preacher Green out there working.
Mm.
And you even catch sight of the marshal coming out of the general store, heading that way.
Lovey goes to where the food's set up on the main buffet tables and starts setting things out.
And there's some food because a number of people have been bringing food, but of course, Ellie Jane brings the most of all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Though a lot of the food is brought to her from the various local farmers that just prefer to have her cook it, or actually, in all truth, you cook it.
I cook it.
And as you're gathering up, if anyone needs to speak with each other, since you're all in the same area, I'll give you all a chance if you all need to have a talk there.
It's good to see you, Lovey.
Oh, Julia, you finally got a break? I know you've been worked silly here.
The only reason I showed up this year is because my younger sister wanted to come.
How is she, dear?
She's good.
Good. How's the rest of the family?
It's just me and Ashley and Avery. My grandma passed away not long ago, so.
Oh, I'm very sorry, dear. Very sorry.
It's fine. I'm doing the best I can. But I figured I should, I guess, be a part of the community, I guess, at this point.
Yeah. Well, make sure you get yourself plenty to eat, and your sisters too, okay?
Yes.
Because
they're off running somewhere. I lost them as soon as we got here, so.
Because there is plenty, I promise.
Do you need help setting up anything? Are you all good? Or?
I think everything's okay. I just need to make sure that the crocks are set where they need to be, and it's almost done. And then I just need to make sure that the serving utensils are with them so folks can get what they need. But that's all. but I'll be fine. If you would like to, just sit and chat with me while I do it, I'd appreciate the company.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
All right. And maybe you can sneak a taste here and there.
Yes.
As you two are discussing, Adeline yells out, Wade Gilpin, there you are. Can you grab Preacher Green and grab them streamers, and you all, you're going to have to use a ladder, but you need to get up and string them between the two trees. Gabriel said the ladder's right outside the general store.
All right, we'll go. I'll grab hold of it, and we'll get to fixing those up.
So it's not hard to find Preacher Green. Pretty easy to locate.
It's easy to. You just listen for him.
Probably.
Remember, I told you not to touch them ladies without permission. Come on now.
Huh?
Come on. I know you playing.
I ain't touch no babies. What?
Yeah, don't touch no babies neither.
Don't touch their knees. What? Huh?
Don't touch nothing. Touch your face.
Yeah, this is a nice space. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he is, if he's 80,
Mr. Gilbert,
he's a
I
dad.
assume that you're here to save me from my tribulations.
I am indeed. Let's.
Blessed be.
We got a little task to take care of. Let's go.
Well, come on. What are we doing then? What does Miss Adeline got for us?
Well, we got to put up some decorations. We got to find a ladder. My nemesis.
No rest for the weary, Mr. Gilpin. No rest for the weary.
Not at all. Let's. I think it's stood up over there on this over yonder. Let's go grab that, and then we'll start putting them up.
And you find it's a rough wooden ladder. Matter of fact, you're pretty sure Gertrude made it at one point. Well, repaired it. Had some old rungs that needed changed out.
Probably multiple times.
It's been around a while. Not the safest looking of ladders, but you're sure it'll work.
Well, you want to be closer to the sky, Mr. Gilpin, or do you want me to huff myself up there for you?
Well, you was doing a good job of talking to Mr.
Old Remy?
Yeah.
Old Remy, he's a scamp, that little old man.
So you must be a little tired, looking a little peaked after that. I'll go up top.
Oh, all right. I'll hold the ladder for you then.
Thank you.
As you're grabbing the ladder, you all see a catamount come running up from between the buildings. I mean, I'd call it's a bobcat. Let's call it what it is. It's a bobcat come running out. But for you, Preacher, you've seen this bobcat before, and I know Wade has, because the bobcat immediately comes up, stretches its long body up, and puts its claws in Wade's pants leg and starts kind of pulling at it.
What you doing here in town? What you want? Something going on?
It just
never
looks
get
at you.
used to that animal, Mr. Gilpin. I will never get used to that animal.
It's a wonderful, wonderful friend and companion.
And it's a monster. That's what that is.
You need that out in the woods.
When you say monster, it kind of pulls its claws off of, putting some holes in Wade's pants, which you can see there's marks on them a couple places. And it kind of looks at you and hisses.
No, that's all right. He's all right, mostly.
Try to be. I tried to be.
And it lets out, it's a low scream, low mumble, really. It almost sounds like a woman just kind of weeping a little bit as it's, and then it just kind of pads off. You see it slinking, not towards the middle of the town where the Harvest Festival, but it's definitely moving where it can lurk around the edges and hope to catch some extra food that might be left around.
I think eat a child in one bite.
Oh, it might. You got to keep on your toes. You might get it.
Yeah. How many pants you go through, Mr. Gilpin?
A lot.
I bet.
You all have no trouble getting the ladder, and you go back to hanging stuff up as, the Harvest Festival's gathered. Marshall, you got anybody you need to speak with in the middle of town, or you just being the
Not
marshal?
particularly. I'm just coming through, looking like I'm taking it a little bit easier than usual. Seem like I'm kind of filling in, saying hello to people who recognize me and
Well, everyone
such.
recognized the marshal.
Yeah. And I'm doing small talk amongst people who stop by and, tip my hat to ladies and shake gentlemen's hands.
And as you're walking around, Ellie Jane comes running up to you. Running, but not like at a full sprint, but you can tell she was moving with a quickness to get towards you.
Whoa, Miss Ellie Jane, how you doing there?
How you doing, Marshall?
Oh, a lot better now that I'm here.
I'm glad you made it this year.
Good to be here.
I made sure there's a blueberry pie just because I know you like it.
Oh, well, you didn't have to do that.
Oh, I just got to take care of the officers around here. You're the only one we got.
Mighty obliged there. I appreciate it. Thank you.
If you want, you can sit by me during the feast. I'd love to hear about what the news going around town, and I know you travel a lot more than a lot of us do. So,
well, we'll see about that when comes time.
Well, I hope so. And you can tell she's kind of embarrassed at how forward she was suddenly. And she, I got to run over and help Lovey with the table.
Not a problem. Not a problem. If y'all need any help here, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to help. I'm technically off the clock, as they say.
Yeah. Your good lawman's never off the clock. That's why we like you.
We're always vigilant, but sometimes we can take it just a little bit easier.
And you can tell when she runs over to help Lovey and Julia with the table, they didn't need help. She's in the way.
Oh, no, we're done.
Yeah. She comes over and she's looking and she looks at Julia and Lovey, then she looks at the table and she moves like a bowl an inch to the right.
Yeah.
And it moves, changes
and
the order.
Puts her hands on her hips and looks at her. Now quit showing off for that damn man.
And she looks at you and she gets like her eyes narrow and she gets a bit of a cross look before she realizes everybody can see what she's doing. And then she stops and gets back.
Silly lady, get yourself out there and socialize.
And and you see her walking off to go, probably looks like she's heading towards Miss Adeline.
Mm-hmm.
Gertrude, after you come to the center of town, what you doing?
Yeah, so honestly, she probably follows Wade and Preacher Green to go kind of help make sure that ladder doesn't break on them.
So you're a bit back and you get to see the cat about come out, the bobcat.
Yeah, but she's keeping a distance, especially from that cat. But as she's doing that, she's not, like I said, she's not really helping. She's probably keeping an eye on Julia and Lovey because she wants to make sure that Lovey doesn't do anything to Julia because she's a little skittish around Lovey. She's just magic woman. I mean, no.
So you've got your head on a swivel.
Yeah.
Like we both aren't magical, okay?
Head on a swivel, okay.
I know Julia since she was a kid, though.
So,
that's different. It's
obvious to Wade and the Preacher Green there that Gertrude's got herself where she can keep an eye on YouTube, but she definitely keeps cutting her eyes towards Lovey. It's clear.
Everything all right, Miss Swanson?
Oh yeah,
okay.
Just keep an eye, make sure nothing falls apart.
All right, just if you have altercations, you let me know. I know that old Miss McBride can be quite uppity.
Oh no! I gotta be careful around people who have those type of rumors around them. You never know what could happen.
Oh, I'd pay no mind to no rumors.
Gertie, when was the last time you tightened these rungs up? It's a little rickety today, and I shake the ladder back and forth a little bit.
Oh, she stops mid-sentence and goes to make sure that's fine. Being careful not to stand under the ladder.
It needs a little bit of, you need to put an extra nail or two in it. Keep those rungs a little bit more stable. They've started to work free a little bit.
The less you shake, the more stable the ladder is, Mr. Gilpin. I don't know if you're aware of that technique.
I try not to get up on ladders much. It's just falling from a height's not a good thing to happen.
I mean,
might hit the ground and keep going.
I mean, you're maybe 3 or 4 feet off the ground, Mr. Gilpin.
Is that all?
You'll be fine.
It looks like 20, 25 to me.
No, you're not flying. I'll tell you that.
So as you all carry it over they've got the poles set up to put the streamers up that they hang, just little decorations. Wade, you get up on that ladder. You get to the top of it when you hear a crack noise as the rung breaks. Now, the funny thing is, Wade is, some would say he's blessed. Some might even call it cursed. Because even though the ladder breaks under him, he manages to fall straight down back to his feet without a problem. Just no injury, nothing. Just ladder cracks in such a way that he is just suddenly under it, standing there looking around like, what just happened?
Oh,
And this is the sort of thing that happens. So I just look right at the preacher. It's like, now see what we were talking about?
oh, you see what we were talking about? You landed like you a superhero, Mr. Gilpin.
Gertrude,
Wait,
you
I'm
notice
sorry.
that the rung
If
is
it's anyone
rotted
but you.
in the middle. It's actually inside the middle of the wood was rotted for some reason.
Mr. Gilpin, you okay there?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine.
All right. Looks like you almost took a nasty spill.
Almost, but lucky this time. But thanks for
Good,
asking.
good. No
Blessed.
problem. Hey, we
Lovey
some of us
leans
are.
over to Julia and says, have you ever had to patch him up?
No,
Isn't that odd?
extremely odd. I mean, I hear rumors about him getting hurt all the time, but they all seem to not be mentioned again. Like it didn't happen.
Fascinating. Well, let's go get us a seat. I figure if you don't mind, I'll join you and your family.
That's fine. Yeah.
All right.
And as you all head over to get a seat, all of you hear it at the same time. There's a scream. It's a woman's scream. Just as loud as can be over on the east side of town towards where the garden is, the town garden that was donated, of course, by the other big family in your town, the Harrison family. And it's definitely a woman just screamed as loud as she could. Oh, God! Anyone go check that out?
Marshall's perking up and heading that way.
Hey, preacher, what do you say we go have a look?
Yeah, that sounds like something dangerous might be happening over there.
Then I'm all in for it.
Gertie's gonna go to Julia.
Right behind you then.
I just hope someone just can't count a mouse here.
Lovey, you or Julia going out to see what
Well,
that's...
Gertie's coming over to Julia.
Yeah, but is
And-
Lovey
and
going over?
Lovey's kind of looking like, what on earth?
A number of people seem to be going. Adeline's going. A number of the townsfolk here scream like that. Everybody's going to go investigate. That's excitement before the Harvest Festival. What could go on like that?
Well, Julia, should we? I think we should.
Yeah, we should go since.
And as we get up, Gertie approaches.
Everybody's going. You know, first of all, nobody goes in front of the marshal. The marshal gets to lead the way.
Yep, head in that direction. Post haste.
And as you all follow most of the town to the east side, where the garden is, or should I say was, Charlie Joe Harrison, she is, I mean, it's Harvest Festival. She's still in her dirty smock that she normally wears. But the garden, where there was a garden that this morning, it was a full garden. It's now covered in, looks like kudzu vines, except they're all dead. The whole garden's been covered in it, and the vines are all dead. And she is just, you can tell she's distraught. She's pulling at her hair. She's looking at it, crying. And Jace is there with her, which is her husband, of course. He's kind of trying to console her, but she's not having any of it. Who would do this? It's ruined the whole garden. It's just ruined all that work. We didn't even get to pull in the last of this little crop before the winter came.
Tarnation's going on here. He says kind of off to the side as he actually goes over and looks at these invading kudzu vines that have died.
Kudzu grows fast. But if there was a garden here this morning, you wouldn't believe it, because the entire garden has been covered in kudzu, choking out everything that was in it. But the kudzu's all blackened and brown in spots. It looks like kudzu that is, it's long since been dead.
Lovey moves forward towards the marshal and is looking at this garden and says, that's not natural.
No, it ain't.
Kudzu, while it is voracious, it is quite aggressive in its growth and ground cover, it does not typically do it in a matter of hours and then die.
No, it don't.
Charlie Joe,
right.
you can hear, I was just here this morning. We were pulling up the weeds and it was fine.
Did you notice kudzu when you was pulling them weeds?
No, if we'd seen kudzu, we'd yanked it all out. We can't let that near the plants.
I'm taking a deeper look at this kudzu there and seeing where it might be leading to, where it's coming from.
As you,
Marshall, you mind if I take a look at the plants as well? I don't want to interrupt any kind of investigation. I don't know proper decorum here.
Don't have to ask permission from me. I'm just having a look at it, and there seems to be quite a bit of it, so I don't think we're gonna.
You're the man with the badge. I wanted to make sure I don't get shot or handcuffed.
Jay, if you got any answers here, I'm all ears.
I'm gonna bend down and take a look at the kudzu, because I have training in identifying plants and creatures of the wild.
okay, so you're going to get to make a roll. Now, this could be a first roll of the evening. So everyone, the viewers are aware, this game uses a difficulty from 1 to 10. And means your target number is 3 times the difficulty. So your target number is going to be 3 all the way up to 30 on a 20-sided die. I know 30 is kind of hard to get on a 20-sided die, but there's things that help. In this case, you're using your identifying plants and creatures, which you are trained in, which means you get to back a difficulty off on this a level. Are you going to put in the effort to up your roll any on this, or are you just going to go with what you have from your identifying plants and creatures?
Would that be an intellect pool?
Yeah, I think it would be.
Okay, then yeah, I'll put some effort into it. I have an edge, so that's going to cost me 2 instead of 3 then?
Yep, and you only have effort of 1, so you can put in 1 whole point of effort to it. So that's going to take your difficulty 1 more down, so it drops your difficulty by 2, which means I'm going to give you a difficulty. I won't always tell you the difficulty, but in this case, your difficulty on the roll is now 2. It wasn't 4.
Perfect.
Now, while you're rolling that and taking a look, because it takes you a little bit to look at it, Marshall, as you're going towards the woods, you notice the kudzu stretches deep into the woods behind the garden plot. I mean, it through the woods, all dead. The trees are fine, but it all back there as far as you can see back. Dead kudzu. Anyone else taking a look at anything while these two are doing their investigation?
I know in this garden there were certain things that were grown within it that I would sometimes use for crafting certain things. And I want to use finding and identifying crafting supplies to investigate to see if anything survives under this kudzu.
Okay. You've got one already easement on that because you're trained in identifying crafting supplies.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a difficulty of 2 on that as well.
Okay.
Nice and easy, you know. How'd you do, Preacher, so far? Did you
You got me 14 on the die.
That's more than enough.
Yep.
Everyone else just going to look at the spectacle right now?
Yeah, Gertrude's not going anywhere near that. That's an omen. Mm-mm.
I got an 8.
That's enough.
And I'll try doing identified plants
Okay.
on that.
Could I use See the Unseen for this to see if...
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll let you do that. That's an interesting one to go with. That just lets you automatically kind of see
Things supernaturally hidden.
and, objects normally invisible, insubstantial. I'll let you know on this one. There is something off about the kudzu. It's the only thing you can see is there's almost like a green kind of wispy bits of fog that drift off it a little bit. The last remnants of the green fog, though, it's almost all gone. Drifting away from it. Wade, you got the same difficulty for yours. If you're just trying to identify, it starts with a 3 on that. You're going to give it up. You've got a identify plant, so you can just difficulty 2 total for you. So 6 or higher, you good.
I rolled a 16.
That's good. Definitely kudzu. Looks like every other kudzu you've seen, though, judging by the look of it, it was really, really healthy. I mean, there's a lot of leaves to it. It's for it to have died that quick, it spread that far. It's definitely not natural. Lovey, first of all, I'm going to tell you, you can retrieve kudzu is used in a few things. Kudzu itself. So snippets of the kudzu, very useful.
The stems, the leaves, the things like that.
And I'm sure you find a couple other things in there. If we need anything that you need later that would have related to it, I'm sure you'll have it now.
She does put on her gloves before she takes anything or touches it, just in case.
Preacher Green, given who Preacher Green is, this wasn't normal kudzu. You've seen this kind of kudzu before, though not in this form. You've seen it, well, as a man-like humanoid shape. Kudzu, as obviously alive as this used to be. Normally, creature of the green. One you've only seen once or twice, normally to defend the land itself. You're looking at the remains of a kudzu man. Because of this, just to warn the players at the table, we are now upping right off the what wakes level. Rolling a 1 or 2 now gives me my free intrusions. Now I'm going to call them inclusions all night.
Thrustrations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, Marshall, you see it goes as far as the eye can see back behind the field here.
Yeah, I'm not going to go too far in the woods there. It's not without somebody else. I'm heading back and meeting up with everyone. This here kudzu, it goes back all into the woods and stuff.
It does.
Yeah, somebody sent it here, I think.
Let me go take a look. I'll go out through the woods.
It's stretching. How far are you willing to go? How far out of town are you willing to go?
I'm at home in the woods.
You go out quite a bit. And as you're going deeper into the woods, you notice there's a bit of fog seems to be rolling into your little gap there. It's not really thick right now, but while you didn't see it in the town, it's definitely here in the woods. You go back, your guess is you got about an acre of kudzu back here in these woods. All of it dead.
Every bit of it. It doesn't change. It's all the same as far as I go.
As far as you go, you find the end, and it's a solid end. You don't see where the kudzu came beyond that. It just stops at some point.
Not like it was rooted, but it was cut and dragged, or
no. That's the funny thing. None of the roots are in the ground. The kudzu's grown here, but it doesn't have anywhere it grown from. It's all twisted back on itself.
Okay.
Whatever they used to grow this was amazing.
Marshall, I don't believe rightly that this was grown. I think this was placed here.
Oh, I do too.
There's no roots.
I think somebody sent this here.
Why though?
That's the question right there.
And I'll be making my way back into town.
Hey, I mean, you're at home in the woods. It doesn't take you long to run that to the edge, about an acre. That's not too far for you. That's not even a morning a walk for you. You all see Wade coming back in.
Oddest thing. It goes way back there a bit, but it not rooted in the ground anywhere. It just kind of ends and turns in on itself.
Not surprising.
I don't like this, Marshall.
No. Let's go back to, I'd say at least a couple of us go back to the festival. I know a lot of us went over this direction. Just want to make sure nothing's going on over there.
And Adeline hears you. We need to get back to the festival for sure, because, Charlie Joe, I understand the garden and all, but this is the festival. We can't be missing that. And Charlie Joe, who's still hysterical, sheer darts eyes that are rather hostile towards Adeline, but that's normal. These two families aren't known for getting along anyway.
Yes, we need to get back in town before all the pie is gone. Preacher will be all upset.
I do love me some apple pie, Mr. Gilpin. You read my mind. Tell you what.
You and me both.
And you hear Jace consoling his wife. Charlie, we can't do anything about this anyway. What's done is done. We can't, put it back in. We can't make the plants come back. Don't worry, you'll still have next year. We'll be okay. We'll make sure, we'll put up some stuff to make sure this can't happen again. And she's still obviously visibly upset.
I walk over and say, I'll have a close look at this when opportunity presents itself here. We'll get to the bottom of this and make sure it don't happen again.
And she looks, she's glad you're looking into it. You can tell by the look on her face, but she still can't just stop uncontrollably weeping at her garden ruined.
I understand. We'll find out who did this, and I'll take care of them.
As everybody's heading back, you hear Mayor Remy. He's half deaf, so he don't talk softly. That's some haint shit there, ain't it?
Easy there, Mayor. Might be, but otherwise we're not going to worry about it right now. Worry about it when we have a little bit more time to worry about it.
Huh? No, it's haint shit, I'm telling you. It's haint shit.
I nod in front of him so that he understands that I understand.
And you see Serenity, his daughter, that by all means everyone knows pretty much is the actual mayor. She comes over. Now, come on, Daddy, come on. Just get back to the center, get you some food. I ain't no damn child. Get off me. Now he's, flailing his little bony, spindly arms. And she just is kind of just shoving him the way she wants him to go. I'll let you all, if you want to talk amongst each other as you're walking back, I'm sure you all have a little bit of some space here because a lot of people just don't seem to care. They're trying to get back to the Harvest Festival because that haint shit ain't for them.
That girl has the patience of a saint, I'll tell you what.
Mm-hmm.
He might not be wrong.
Yeah.
I hate to agree with.
Lovey's just looking at the jar, literally like a canning jar that she put the cuttings into. Yeah.
I saw something kind of rolling off of it, like a green mist or fog, but it was almost gone by the time I saw it.
Interesting.
Why now?
We're all under a lot of stress trying to get this festival up and running. We saw what we saw.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy.
We saw.
Look here, Preacher Green. It's
No one
very
said that.
evident.
No one said those words.
But you're making me out to sound like I'm crazy by the words you just spoke.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I would never.
Then, Preacher Green, how do you explain an acre of kudzu with no roots?
I wish I could. But I can't.
So, because kudzu don't grow without roots.
Why, though?
I got the feeling someone sent it there.
Not a good sign.
No, it's not like we could do right now. Just keep our eyes open and
Do we know
Here's
of anyone that
Neil.
was growing kudzu or that was just collecting kudzu?
No one grows kudzu.
No one grows kudzu.
If you want to collect it, you just go look in the woods. You'll find it.
Yeah, it was used prior for erosion control, and it went out of control and basically ate
Yeah,
itself.
nobody grows kudzu.
I don't know what Stopgap does.
I am
I'm a
going to tell you
traveling
there,
preacher.
Preacher Green, as you're walking back, you feel it in your bones. Something's off with your connection to the earth. It's still there. You still feel it in you, but it's distant. It's not as close as you're used to feeling it, especially in a town of farmers.
I think a little bit of apple cider might do us good. Try to reconnect with nature and its bounties.
I do
Yes.
agree.
Miss Julia, you'll let us know if you see anything else, right?
Of course.
And as everybody heads back to the center of town, you all start to notice, seems to be a fog bank kind of rolling into the town. Not a thick one, not heavy, just a light fog that seems to be slowly rolling in. It's not unknown this time of year. It's not usual this late in the evening, but it's not unknown.
Anything like what I saw out in the woods?
Yeah, it seems to be same consistency. I mean, it's not thick enough to really obscure anything. Just a light haze, really. Though it is making, the cloud cover kind of a little bit harder and indistinct to see because, it's a deep fog for sure, at least how high up it reaches.
That's odd, I saw something like that out in the woods. I didn't pay much mind to it at the time, but when I was out there looking at the end of the kudzu, it was out there in the woods. This is real similar to it. Seems odd.
Something's coming.
It didn't feel like we were in the temperature for fog or mist.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling something is up.
Yeah, still a few weeks off from that kind of weather, no?
Yeah.
Gertie has a 4-leaf clover in a jar on her neck, a small jar, like a very small one, and she's like holding on to it a little bit. I think we should be careful. Keep an eye out. Guard yourselves.
That's a right good idea.
That is not a terrible idea at all.
Well, now don't
right.
be letting things creep up on you on an empty stomach. Go get you some food first.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Lovey. That's a great idea.
And as people are gathering up, you see Robert Witt Sr., head of the Witt family, he comes striding into the open area. Well, I must say, it looks like we got some fog rolling in here. I think it's a good time to light the fire. Let's see if we can banish some of this damp air with some heat. He really takes pride every year in his lighting of the bonfire for the Harvest Festival. As you see him striding over to where the wood and the kindling's all been piled up, he pulls out a nice fancy new lighter too. Not a lot of people have all those around here, but he's got one, of course. He says, I'm going to light this up and I'm going to dedicate this here Harvest Festival to the great year everybody had. Good job, South Gap. You all did well, I heard. And most of the people in town seem to be looking to him. As always, he's got that kind of a voice and a bearing that just calls respect when he comes walking in. And he bends over and you see him light up the fire. And once it gets started a little bit, he stands back and he turns around and you can tell he's posturing in front of the fire. Let the Harvest Festival begin. And a number of the people in the town clap. As he smiles, kind of waves a bit and heads over to go see Adeline. But the talk is all about, the kudzu ruining the garden. That's all anyone wants to talk about. And as this fog gets a little thicker, right here, everybody, with the Harvest Festival officially started, we're going to head to break. We'll be back in 9 minutes, not 10. We're back in 9 minutes, everybody. Please enjoy the amazing break music from Shawn James. Thank you to Shawn James. Hey, pop over to his site, by the way. Seriously. Go to ShawnJames.com or ShawnJamesMusic.com. Go check it out. Go to his YouTube channel. Seriously. Good guy. Let us use his music. Check it out. Welcome back from the break, everybody. Before the break, well, we've gathered here in South Gap for the annual Harvest Festival. But the festivities seem to have been interrupted by, the garden, the little community garden that was donated by the Harrisons was choked out by kudzu that sprang up suddenly and died. But as everyone's gathered back at the main part of the center of the town square, the burnt cedar as it's called, well, the fire's been lit and the harvest festival's begun. Though you've noticed that the fog has gotten a little bit thicker, the light of the fire is more than enough to keep it at bay. And the food is flowing. Not a fair bit of drink, too. Some of it, well, for the lucky ones, they've even got a little bit of Wade's private stash there. His secret reserve, might be called. A little bit of nice Appalachian white lightning. As everybody's got a full belly, though the eating will probably continue long into the night. Sun has started to set a bit in the mountains because it gets darker early in these mountains, mainly because the mountains are blocking the view. All the talk is about what happened to the garden, with some sprinklings of we're hoping next year will be better, sprinkled in with it. By some quirk of fate, you all find yourselves pretty much seated at the same table. You don't know how it happened. It just seemed to have happened as you all gathered around seeing the fog build up. Plates in front of you that are pretty much cleared at this point, picking a little bit. I'll let you all discuss, whatever you wish to discuss about your situations here, the Harvest Festival in the town. You do notice that the Harrison family and the Witt family are on two opposite ends of the center of town here. Neither family is going to get near the other right now.
Hey, what'd you make of those cuttings you made?
I mean, they appear to be healthy, but dead kudzu. It ain't natural that it happened like it did.
No, not in the least, no.
Right. But the plant itself seems normal.
The amount seems to be a bit
Yes.
suspect as well.
Yes.
You say it stretched out all the way into the forests, Wade?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did. Yeah, quite a ways back, a couple 100 feet.
Massive.
More than the amount, but the quickness.
Yeah, I mean, nobody in town seemed to have seen it coming, let alone seeing it dying.
Yeah, kudzu doesn't operate like that.
Mm-mm.
Not naturally.
Not naturally.
At that, Gertrude kind of like nods her head, and I imagine she was given some of Wade's special stash, his friends, and she kind of pours a little bit out on the ground. It's like,
Hey, that's
you gotta shit's going on, Wade. We gotta appease it.
I'll give you that, but
Just a little.
That's hard. Okay, that's hard to come by.
Gotta get favor somehow.
That's all right. You got more of mine. I'll slide my cup over. That kind of special brew might see me time traveling.
Well, I think you need a touch of it there, preacher.
Oh, I got touched.
I mean, it loosens the tongue and
don't need no loosening.
Wouldn't be a preacher if he weren't good at talking.
Mm-hmm.
Some shepherds use different implements to lead their flock.
And what's your implement of choice?
Speechifying. I find I do better speeching when I'm level-headed.
No, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, me and my lord as well.
Marshall, have you ever seen anything like this before?
Not exactly, but well, let's just say I've come across a few similar things. Can't really make heads or tails of it entirely, but things that don't go quite right like this. Yeah, I've seen a few things like that.
Kudzu running rampant and among the state.
Not exactly. Although I did hear tell a tale of pumpkins from somebody.
Pumpkins.
Oh, the worst
Not
thing
personally.
is when you toss out your rotten pumpkins and you think that's just going to be the end of it. Oh, no, they break down, the seeds get planted, and then you have bushels and bushels of pumpkins.
Ain't nothing wrong with a couple pumpkins.
Now, if you're not a fan of pumpkins,
And like I said, I just hear tell the tale there. I don't
Yeah.
never say anything personal like that. What I have seen, though, is people use distractions like this to, shall we say, cause trouble.
Mm.
And that's what I'm afraid's going on right here. Look
pretty
at our,
elaborate plan to cause trouble.
yeah. So you'd be surprised. Some people like to be elaborate in how they operate.
What do you think it was a distraction from?
Don't know. I have some suspicions, but I'm not too sure. Very least, you notice with the two founding families of the town here, they're kind of on edge, a little bit more than everybody else. Nothing else. Whoever did this has got them riled up.
You thinking this is some kind of Hatfield and McCoy situation, Marshall?
No, not exactly, but I do think that
It never struck me as a type.
no, but I do see that they're somebody's taking advantage of riling them up for some reason. I mean,
It don't take much.
no, it don't. That's the thing.
You know, bravado. Don't need but simple poking sometimes.
Exactly.
As you're talking, looking, everybody's checking the two families. You notice Charlie Joe seems to be having a heated conversation with Jace Harrison, her husband. He seems to be trying to convince her not to go do something. You can tell by the body posture. She's trying to get up to go across the field. And he's trying to convince her it's not worth it.
Wonder what that's about.
Yeah.
He's one to usually let his wife do what she wants.
But it's the Harvest Festival. Maybe he's trying to keep her from ruining the good time that everyone seems to be having.
Keeping my eyes on him for a bit there. See what's good.
And as you're watching,
more of what's going
she
on.
manages to break free of her husband. And she is stomping across the field. I do mean stomping. Hands clenched. Face red. She's heading across that field. And she gets about halfway before you hear her scream, "I know you're behind it, bitch!" And she's pointing dead at Adeline Witt as she says it.
I swear money can't buy you class.
That's the truth.
Well,
it's at this point the entire Witt family stands up. Robert Sr.,
I was afraid of.
Adeline, all five of the kids. And they're get up, start moving to head to meet her halfway through the field. Everyone stop eating. Most people stop talking. Poor Jace, he's gotten up. He's got to head over with her. Can't let her be by herself standing to face the other family.
I'm going to stand up, just tap the Marshall on the side. Marshall, I would be remiss if I didn't try to ease this situation. I assume I can trust you for some backup in this and just start making my way to try to head them off at the pass. Much appreciated, sir.
You get over there. Yeah, Adeline is facing Charlie Joe. They've got about 3 feet between them. Adeline, she's trying to keep her cool, but not really. You can see she's not having any of this shit. Charlie Joe is just up and down swearing, "I know you did this, bitch. You never liked my garden anyway." And you can feel it when you're this close. There's a hostility. You can feel it just in the air in general. Charlie Joe looks at her. You haven't liked me ever since we came to this town because you wanted to buy the general store and we beat you to the property. So this was your way to get even with me.
All right. Come on, everybody take a breath. Take a breath. Come on. It's the Harvest Festival, and we're throwing out insults and accusations and unfounded.
Preacher Green, you're going to need to give me a persuasion check there.
You got it. I will, no, you know what? I'm not going to use that.
You got trained in persuasion. I'm going to ease your difficulty by 1.
I am in fact trained.
But I'm not telling you the difficulty of the roll.
Ooh, you a mad man. Can I also use intimidation to ease the roll as well?
No, you can use one or the other. Either you're going to persuade him or intimidate him. Which one are you going to use?
I can't be intimidatingly persuasive?
No, you can't use 2 different skills for a roll. Good try.
This is some bullshit.
It wouldn't be a game if you didn't get to say that at least once.
So here's the thing about this roll. You're going to get a free enthrustion on me because I got a 1.
I like that. Okay.
Nope. I thought I was safe being this far away from lanes.
Yeah. As you go to try to convince him to calm down. Well, Adeline goes, we don't need to hear from no preacher man. And as she says it, you're standing there trying to speak up. Charlie Joe tries to throw a punch at Adeline, but Jace managed to get hold of her long enough. The punch comes at you. Now, I will let you roll defense if you wish. Go ahead and give me a speed check, I believe, is a good one for this one.
Okay. Not rolling that die anymore. So I can go away. I think I'm trained in speed defenses, so
okay, we'll ease it by 1. Go ahead.
Yeah, ease it by 1.
Remember, it's based. Your difficulty is going to be based on her level.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you don't know what her level is.
Yeah. But this is also your game, so I'm going to throw some effort into it as well. So that'll ease me 2. I don't have any edge in speed, so it's going to cost me a full 3 points.
That'll give you a second.
Yep.
Easement. Okay. You don't have to roll then.
Oh, okay, cool.
Difficulty was only 2. She's just a normal woman here. As you go to throw, she throws the punch. You saw it just in time to kind of step out of reach. But she just threw a punch at Preacher Green. That seems to cause a number of people in the crowd to get upset.
Lovey actually stands up at the table.
You all start to feel something. Even Lovey, everyone in this here feels something. The back of your brain, every little slight, one family or the other has done you. Every little thing they've done to annoy you, it's nagging at the back of your head. And you can see the town kind of almost dividing up amongst who's siding with who in this situation. And you can feel it yourselves. You're kind of being pulled towards, you don't know why, but you're getting angry. Preacher Green, you just got somebody threw a punch at the preacher too. That's really starting to bother you.
Now, Charlie Joe, I know for a fact you were raised better than this. I need you to sit down, and I'm going to shake the bones.
Oh, shit. You open up with shake the bones.
I'm going to open up with shake the bones.
Okay, so that's an intelligence. Costs you 1 point of intelligence, but you have an edge of 1, so it costs you nothing.
That's a free ability, baby.
Yep. So you're going to roll You know the difficulty is 2, which means you're going to roll 6 or higher, or you can, if you're going to put some effort into it, you can if you want.
Yeah, I'll put some effort into it. At least 1 point, because I got the intellect for that. So put 1 level of effort towards it.
Okay. So your difficulty is 1, which means you need 3 or higher.
And as the pendulum swings, I got a natural 20.
Okay, so you can get a minor effect or a major effect out of this if you want. For those viewers out there, if you roll a 19 or 20 on a non-combat roll, you get to add an effect to it, something. It doesn't benefit it. You can't make it something that is you directly, but something beneficial happens with the scene as a whole.
Yeah, I think having Adeline see the effect that I have on her, on Charlie Joe, I think she's also going to step away and sit down.
Okay, well, the sheer force of your shake the bones, it stuns her. I mean, she can't believe that the power of your voice. She's heard you preach, but that's not the same as what came out this time. Everybody heard it. There wasn't just his preaching voice. There was force behind it, power. Those are those kind of things. That's not a natural voice. That's a voice strong as earth itself. Powerful as the running water. And she staggers back a bit from it. Looks like she's having trouble catching her breath at first. She goes to kind of take a step back. She kind of just plops on the ground there. But the crowd at this point, hey, preacher man, what'd you just do?
Oh, calm down, everybody. That's all I'm asking about. Everybody calm down. Take a step. Breathe.
You all feel it
Folks,
again.
just take it easy here.
Every little slight. Marshall, you know, the time that you come to town and nobody even, they thought you were the new guy here. They didn't know you from anybody. They just kind of ignored you the whole time, Marshall or not. Wade, all the times people have made comments about the library. Lovey, every criticism of your food you've ever heard, even unfounded. Unfounded makes it worse.
All unfounded.
Gertrude, every comment about a woman who's doing the handyman work, as they call it. Building up Julia. All the comments about you're always the one going in to fix somebody after they get hurt, but you don't normally, get involved yourself. Preacher, well, you got a lot of slights you can list. All the times people missed your sermons. You feel it building in the back of your head. It's nagging at you now. It's getting to be a little more forceful. Stuck in your head hard. The anger's real for all of you here right now. I know for Lovey, the fact that she knows it's unfounded will probably make it much worse for her. The crowd itself, you notice that there's several small scuffles have started to break out amongst the crowd of people.
I speak up and say, folks, calm down. Calm down now. Don't need to be acting like this. Just step away.
And you hear Ellie Jane's voice of all people cry out, why should you listen to you? You don't even pay attention to us. And I put on my best dress and you don't even say anything about it. And she actually comes out of the crowd and she tries to punch the marshal. She doesn't do too well at it. I'm not even going to make him roll on that one. But she tries.
I'm going to intercept the punch with my hand. Yeah, take her easy there. Just take her easy.
Whole place is now our tinder box ready to blow. Everybody's eyeing each other suspiciously. Anger's building in all of you. Which of you is going to be the first to act on your anger? Let's find out. Who feels they've got enough built-up rage yet to I know there's a feud between two people sitting here. Have they hit the point they're going to exercise that feud? I seem to recall in back of Lovey's mind, somebody once called her uppity.
I'm gonna slide over to Wade. What exactly have you gotten me into here, Wade? You said we were gonna have a nice, calm festival.
Well, we were.
What is all this?
I don't know, but I'm feeling a little hot under the collar. I mean, all these people disparaging the library, the thing I worked on all year, all the time, keeping it for them.
Well, it's a good endeavor, Wade. Now come on, you know that you're doing good work. What's got you riled up?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it under control, preacher.
Y'all see Robert Witt Sr. I mean, he's 70, though he don't look it. Everyone knows he's 70. Jace is almost half his age, Jace Harrison. But that don't stop him. Robert leaps towards him, immediately throwing a haymaker, which causes the rest of the Witt family to surge forward onto Jace and Charlie Joe, which members of the town who seem to be supporting him, they can't abide by that. They surge forward to protect him, causing the ones who are protecting on the Witts feeling they're the ones that were wronged here to jump in. Marshall, you're caught in the middle of a Marshall and Preacher caught in the middle of flying fists, feet, knees, elbows. It's just a brawl.
Doing what I can to keep together, but probably losing pretty hard given the number of people who are around me.
The anger's building in you. You're trying to stop them, but let's just say you're using a little bit of excessive force at this point.
Yeah, we could say that.
I'm gonna
My
keep
defense
ordering.
is a little bit more offensive.
I'm gonna keep ordering people to just sit down and keep shaking bones.
Lovey is going to the food tables. And for every fucking person here who has said one bad thing about her cooking, she is going to flip the fucking tables and bust the crocs on them.
That's going to involve all of them at some point. She starts breaking the
she's
table.
not going to break the crocs on people. She's going to dump the food.
Yeah, you're breaking all the crocs. She's trashing the food table.
Mm-hmm.
Gertrude, you doing anything?
Not yet. If the preacher keeps going at Wade, though, I'm probably gonna go for the preacher.
Oh, the two of them seem to be real close, and I mean they're getting caught in the melee. But I think there's been a few errant punches thrown by probably Wade, as the preacher man's voice is ringing out over and over.
Yeah, if Wade's already taking jabs at the preacher, Gertrude will jump in.
And you all see the catamount coming, streaking from the edge of the clearing. The bobcat's jumping in too. Julia, what are you doing? Your sisters are somewhere in the melee right now.
She is trying to stay as calm. She wants to make sure they get out of whatever's happening.
You're going to have to wade in the middle of the melee.
Yeah, so she's going to go.
Wade's already in the middle of the melee.
And you all, as soon as the melee starts, it gets worse. You don't know when the first knife came out, but one did. You all heard the marshal's gun go off. May not have had his rifle with him at the time, but he sure had his pistol. Lovey, at some point, the melee just kind of moved over onto you.
Oh, I took out my pocket knife.
As this fight goes on, it gets worse and worse. The knives come out, the guns come out. It's no longer a fight. Everyone in this crowd, including you all, have murderous intent for everything you can get your hands on. And it becomes a point where you can't even keep track of who you're hurting. You're just injuring people. One by one, you see towns members down, not moving. The melee doesn't even stop. Bodies stomped into the ground. Blood covers the field. You all don't know when you fall in it. It's hard to keep track of time. But you all do know, at some point, everything goes black. The whole town has destroyed itself in an orgy of violence. And then you all start to, it's kind of odd. You're in a mist, fog. Thick, can't see a thing. But as it slowly recedes, you all are laying about the burnt cedar. Tables are wrecked. All the food's dumped out. All the crock pots are destroyed. Clothes are tattered, not bloody, tattered. Some have knife wounds, some have you can see gunshot wounds on them. The powder burns from close range. But your bodies are all intact. You all wake up, still scattered in the center of town. The fog is gone. Except you can see just at the edge of town, thick fog. Everywhere you look, the town is encircled in it now. The sky above, you can see hints of the sun through the clouds, or through the fog, but it's hazy and indistinct. Even Wade, your catamount, your little bobcat, kind of slinking, and it looks confused as shit. You all are actually the first to wake. Everyone else seems to be not moving much on the ground. They're slowly coming to. But the first on their feet are you six.
What the hell happened?
I have no
I think I got
idea.
hit with a 2x4
I think I got stabbed.
a couple times too.
So sorry about that, preacher. This got out of control, I think. Not sure.
I think we all did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like anyone didn't.
And so I look around. Is any of the other people moving or?
They're moving. They haven't gotten to their feet. They seem to be there's a lot of groaning. You would think there'd be broken bones. There'd be a lot more injuries, but their clothes are all showing the marks of it, but they're not. Nobody seems to have broken limbs. No limbs at unnatural angles. No visible injuries as they're all kind of struggling to their feet. Some of them are waking up with their hands wrapped around someone else's neck as they're coming to, still in the throes of fighting.
And all the feelings of anger they're gone at this point, or are they still with us?
Gone. You don't even know why you were that angry. You know what it felt like, but you don't.
But we do
why.
remember being angry.
Yeah, you were angry, but it's so petty now, isn't it?
You said there was fog around the town,
Around the
right?
whole outside of the town. Inside, not a bit of fog. Fires burned down to nothing.
Gertie's probably going to go to the edge of town and just kind of look, the closest edge of town
And
that
as
we're
you're
near.
walking through to go and look, moving through the town, there's the oddest thing. Some of the paint is a little more faded, a little more cracked, a little more weathered. The wood looks, it's not been oiled as often as it should. It's a bit aged through here, but not horribly so. But you're the handy woman. You spend a lot of time taking care of things. You recognize quick. Nobody's been maintaining the place, looks like. No, that's not true, because yesterday it looked different. When you get to the edge of town, it's a thick fog bank. Thick as molasses out there. While Gertrude's doing that, what is everybody else doing?
I'm getting up and helping people out.
A lot of people, they seem confused. They don't know what's going on. There's a lot of, did I kill you? Did you kill me? What just happened?
I'm really sure.
It takes a moment for me, but the second I see the marshal start helping, it immediately kicks in. Start helping people up. You all right? What's the last thing you remember?
I stabbed him. And then his wife, she hit him in the back of the head with a mason jar. That's the last thing I remember. And then the crowd, everyone seems to be moving except for one body. One body is not moving. Old Remy's still laying there. Not moving at all. No injuries on him. His clothes look ripped though, but not moving at all.
I'm going to go to check on him.
And as you look over on him, yeah, he looks deader than hell. Clothes are ripped, no injuries, no bruising. Just looks like he just kind of laid there. But as you're standing close to him, his eyes pop open. When his eyes pop open, there's a light behind him.
Mr. Emisser?
An odd color. Looks like lamplight in a mine, maybe. And he sits
Hello
up,
there.
and he's just looking at you with these oddly flickering eyes.
Marshal, I'll be careful if I were you.
I'll step back a bit.
And when Remy speaks, it's not the voice of Remy that you're hearing. It's not one voice. It's lots of voices. Different accents, different ages, different times. Some you can place, some you can't. The debt must be paid.
What sort of debt?
The blood debt. And then he collapses back as the light fades from his eyes.
Marshall just steps back. Right.
Now you all see Gertrude as she's coming back. Yeah, that fog. Did you go into the fog, Gertrude?
No, she didn't go in. If anything, she would have thrown a rock or like thrown something
Went into the
it.
fog. You heard it hit somewhere out there. So Gertrude comes back about this time. You see her coming back. She's probably looking panicked though, knowing her.
More confused, I'd say.
And you see everyone kind of standing looking. You can't tell what they're looking at, but they all seem to be looking at something on the ground.
She'll go up and approach to see what it is too.
It's old Remy, dead on the ground.
Oh, so he's like back to being dead?
Yep.
Are we gonna do something with him?
Marshal?
Is he really dead? Preacher, you need to say some words or something?
Yeah, preacher, I think right now you might need to be giving some blessings on this man.
I think this is not the place for that. So let's take him to the courthouse, find a quiet space.
Yeah.
Somebody find Serenity.
Serenity's sitting right there. She still looks out of it. She don't know what. She's awake and moving, but it doesn't look like she's come to her senses yet. Looks like her brain's doing what you all did when you first came to, trying to process what you just went through. And then the first words out of her mouth was, "I killed him."
Come on. I'm going to help her up.
And when she notices that Remy's dead, she collapses to the ground. "I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry."
All right, come on. No one's blaming you. Come on. Wade, Marshall, if you could pick the body, please.
Sure.
No, yeah.
The
The second that she seems to be upset with the bodies, Gertrude just like picks him up and takes him.
Lamp.
Yeah, let's take him to the morgue there in the courthouse.
And the whole town seems to be
bottom.
caught in a state of shock. They can't believe what just happened. I mean, who would believe it if you told somebody that just happened? You all killed each other, the whole town. But here you are, whole. Your gun's empty, though, Marshall. You know you fired it.
Make sure I put it away. Don't want to instigate anything else at this time.
What's everybody else doing?
Lovey has worked her way out of sight. And she takes a small wreath out of her bag. It's made of kudzu vines, dried flowers, berries, and feathers. She places it on the ground and then puts her right hand in the middle of it. She places her left hand over her left eye, and she thinks of a location in the woods that she used to go to collect materials.
You're going to use your cipher.
For Farsight.
And as you do it, you can see that place in the woods. Looks like you always did. No fog. There's no anything different about it.
No dead kudzu on the
No
ground?
dead kudzu at all on the ground. Looks like the fall day right at the harvest festival. And the sun is shining.
But not here.
But not here.
She puts the wreath back in her bag, walks back to the crowd of people. She goes up to who's the closest wealthy family member that's near her, looking for the man of each house.
That would probably be Robert Sr., Robert Witt Sr.
She walks up to Mr. Witt.
And he looks over at you, and he's still got that same, his eyes are wide. He's pale.
Did you make a deal with the devil, Mr. Witt?
No, what, Miss McBride?
Did you make a deal with the devil?
I ain't made a deal with nobody, Miss Witt. Or Miss McBride, I'm just as lost as you are.
Very well. And then she moves over to the other man of the other house.
Hey, that would be Jace. And he's sitting there holding his wife, and he's just, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. We just dreamed it all. It's all a dream.
This is no dream. Did you make a deal with the devil?
What do you mean?
That wasn't what I asked. I asked, did you make a deal with the devil?
What do you call a devil? And I sold my land to B&L some time ago, but
Ah,
that was a long time ago. I ain't had no dealings with them since.
did you owe a debt to someone?
Now, Miss McBride, you happen to know. I don't owe people debts. People owe me debts. That's how this works around here. You've heard what people say.
Perhaps make that garden prosper.
You get yourself in a bind, you come to me and I'll help you out.
Oh, I understand. What makes you so lucky?
No luck to it. Smart investments. Leverage the money. I don't know what this is, and I don't know what's going on here, but I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
Neither does anyone else that was brutally murdered by each other last night.
That can't have happened. There's no way that happened because we're just all sitting here.
Really? You have that bullet hole in your coat there for no reason?
I don't know how they got there, and he pulls his shirt open a bit. See, I ain't been shot.
All of us woke up except for Mr. Remy, and he's now being taken to somewhere else for last rites.
I don't know what this...
Outside of this town is just fine and the sun is shining. Do you see the sun here?
I'm telling you, this... And he is trying everything he can not to believe what's happened. We're in the gap. Fog sets and settles in the low spots.
And she's gonna holler, who here made a deal for prosperity?
And nobody speaks up. Everyone just kind of
Oh,
looking at each other.
Don't be shy now.
All looking at each other. Nobody seems to...
Own up to it now. Because it was literally said that the debt needs to be paid. And I guarantee if you try to walk in that fog, you ain't coming out of it. So obviously the debt ain't been paid yet. Who made a deal?
Whole town seems to be looking. Some of them looking a little more suspicious at their neighbors, but at the same time, not as suspicious as you'd think. I think for now, this whole town has sated any feelings of violence towards each other. They're kind of too horrified to really do anything with it. But no one seems to be.
No one's gonna own up to it. Y'all good Christian people. All of y'all are hypocrites. And she takes her bag and herself and she goes back to the inn.
You head back to the inn. Now, the rest of the group, who all went to go take the body to the courthouse morgue?
I already did mostly, but I went along with.
You followed along with her? I knew the marshal was going. Preacher going to go to say some words, right?
Yep, of course.
I'm taking the opportunity to keep an eye on what's going on with the rest of the town while everybody's kind of...
You probably catch the tail end of Lovey calling out the entire fucking town.
You can hear her yelling across the place. I mean, it's not that big a place.
Yeah.
Her voice carries. But that fog is looking awful thick. And it don't look natural for sure. You've been a lot of places there. You know a lot of things there, Marshal. That ain't natural for sure.
This whole situation ain't natural.
Now, Julia, what are you doing? Your sisters are there. They're crying that, because they didn't. It's hard for them to cope with what just happened.
She is going to take them back home and make sure they're settled and then go with the others to comfort his daughter, the mayor's daughter.
Okay. You all head. We'll cut over to the courthouse because Lovey's like, I'm out. I'm done. Screw these people. As you all go to the courthouse, you all notice the courthouse normally, it's the courthouse. It's kept real maintained. The paint's flaked a little, chipped a little. Looks like it spent a year out in the sun without any kind of anything done with it.
Gertie, I saw you head out to the edge of town and see the fog. Did you see anything out there?
I saw that the whole town's like this. It's all worn down.
That's odd. Everything was fine the day before.
In the whole town.
Mm.
And then the fog, I wasn't gonna enter it.
No,
but it didn't seem to get any thinner the closer I got to it. It was just as dense 5 feet as it was 20. Couldn't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
I threw a
Taint
rock
natural.
and I heard it. So there's stuff out there still.
I got a question for y'all.
Yes, sir.
Before the Wits and the Harrisons came by here, who were the, say we say, top families or top family of the town? Like, who founded this place? I rightly don't know, unfortunately.
That's a long fucking time ago. Let's see. Anyone who wants to try to figure that out, you can give me an intellect roll. Anyone thinks they got a skill that would help with that? Let me know to ease the difficulty. I'm not telling you the difficulty, but no, you're talking old news here.
So that would be.
Well, and Mr. Gilpin there, he should know something.
Yeah, I should. Being the librarian, I should know
Right?
something.
I have outside the box as a skill, and I do have training in anything that requires focus, determination, and concentration.
I'll let you go with ease one step on that. Wade, I'll take into your account the being a librarian. If you want to roll an intellect roll, go ahead.
I'll throw effort into it too then.
I rolled a 5. Gertie knows nothing.
You don't know shit.
Gertie knows these buildings are old, and she's gonna put a lot of work into them.
I rolled and I got a nat 20. So
Nice. Beats my 10.
I got a 13.
I'm going to come back to you, Julia. There's something going to help with all this on this one. You got a 13. That would be a difficulty 4. You don't know that there's any records of the old family. I'll tell you, Wade, there's none, which is always struck you a bit as odd. From before that.
You know, it always occurred to me to look into them, but there's really no record of either one of them in town. And it just seemed like I think about it and I say, I gotta look into this, but I just never get around to it for some reason.
That's really interesting.
You all see Julius coming back. You've all done to the courthouse. You've done some last rites. We'll do that while Julia was taking her people, her sisters, to their house at the edge of town. You see Julia coming back. Julia, for your nat 20, I'm going to tell you something you wouldn't normally have realized. Burnt cedar is called that because it was burnt once, long ago. Nobody talks about why it was burnt or how it was burnt, but it was on fire. That tree has been there, though doesn't look it, as long as this town's been here.
I don't know anything about who founded this town, but I know that the reason that the square area is called Burnt Cedar is because it was burning once. No one knows why or how, but it was just burning.
Rather interesting.
You think it has something to do with this? What happened here?
Did they just replant the tree then, or?
Maybe something happened to get the tree to come back to life.
Maybe it has something to do with the debt that needs to be paid.
That could quite well be. Well, here's something interesting here. Cedar trees, kind of rare out this direction. You go back west, go across Mississippi, you get more cedar trees out there. Around here, they're rare. So having a red tree here, let alone what seems to be an interesting history with it, that's a good place to start. So I was always told, go back further, look into where things are there, and then move your way up in your investigation.
You got any historical records at the library, Wade?
I'll have to go look and see. I don't recall off the top of my head, but there might be something.
That'd be a good start, like the marshal said.
The courthouse.
Was Remy the oldest person in the town?
Yes and no. Officially, yes. There are a couple of servants, especially in the Witt family, that look like they could be a bit older, but it's hard to tell. But that don't mean they're from this town either, because you're in the height of, let's just put it as unequal workmen. Some people still seem to hold a view of the Civil War's end result, not what they should. And while there are no slaves in the Appalachians at this time, there are an awful lot of people who are disenfranchised to the point where they're still close.
Old Remy's been here a while. He had access to a lot of stuff. I mean, he was mayor. He won't mind us checking out his house, checking out his office, belongings, whatever. Maybe he knew something.
So try the office first there so we're not too invasive, and then perhaps move on from there. That's a good idea.
Thanks, Marshall.
Serenity, you're all right with us checking the house, right? Trying to get to the bottom of this.
It's like that old man. Can't believe I killed him.
Get that out of your mind. Get that out of your mind.
It wasn't your fault.
You didn't do it.
He hoarded everything. He's pack rat. He just stored any old knickknacks, whatever he got his hands on.
All right. Well, I think I'm gonna take a few minutes here with her and then father. If you three want to take the time to check the office and the house, I'll be with her.
Julie, are you going to go with any of them? I want to know where I got to check everybody going before I flash the Lovey here.
I'm going to go with whoever checks the office. Before I'll check in the office, I'll go with him.
Hey, you're in the courthouse. The courthouse, it's easy to get to the office. The mayor's office is in it. And as the group goes to investigate, we're going to flash over to Lovey. Lovey, what did you go do after you left the place?
I went to the inn to go to my room, gather up a few of my things in preparation for going through that damn fog.
Okay. So you gather up just how much are you gathering? Let's find out.
She's put on her overcoat. She makes sure she has her watch, just in case time is a little strange within the fog. She puts on her boots. She grabs a thermos, puts some hot coffee in it. She makes sure her spice jars are filled. Grabs her book of recipes. Stashes some matches and a small carafe of oil in her bag.
Okay.
And then she grabs a piece of kindling from the fireplace as she heads out.
Lighting it up to go out with
Oh, she's not lighting it.
Just holding it in case you need it?
Mm-hmm. She's holding it in case she needs to light it up, because she can do that without any fire.
As you go and step into this fog, it's damp. It's what you'd expect. It's real thick, though.
That's why she put on her overcoat.
Very quickly, you can't see more than a few feet in front of you.
But she knows where she's going, because it's where she goes to forage a few times a week.
But you can hear something moving out there with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's loud. It's big. Not quite sure what it is. It's rustling in the trees. Hear it. Sounds like when you hear it hit a stone, it's definitely a hoof.
Mm-hmm.
As you're walking deeper in, you find yourself stepping from the fog back where you entered it. But looking at you from across on the other side of the house through the fog, it's got to be the largest buck you've ever seen. Its coat is black as soot. Its hooves look wet with a smeared brown on it. Its eyes burn with a foul blood-colored light. But the thing that draws your attention the most is the antlers. They look made of amber. Translucent, honey-colored, pulsing with its own kind of a smolder. Bits of ash fall off them as it looks at you. And you can see with that blood-colored eyes, malevolent, I can't say it. Malevolence in it, and an intelligence behind it.
Mm-hmm.
It knows it's looking right at you.
And she just looks at it and says, "My, aren't you magnificent?"
And it does a snort. But normally when a deer does a snort, it's one thing. But this one echoes through the whole town.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel it. Everyone, no matter where you are, feel it pulse, throb. And then, Lovey, it turns into the fog and is gone. And right here, everybody, we're going to end episode 1 of Old Gods of Appalachia, The Blood Debt. As Lovey has seen the thing whose name sounds like Horned Head, but is not. The legend of these here woods.
Mm-hmm.
And a creature of not just great power, great evil too. And I'd like to thank my players for putting themselves through this. This is just the first episode, everybody. They've already killed each other once.
Once.
Just once. Yeah.
What will happen on this day? We'll find out. Of course, thank you all to the viewers for coming. For me running Old Gods, I warned people it would get dark, and it did. And it's not going to get any better, people. But there's a mystery to be solved here. Can you solve it before your time runs out? Now, please join us on our Discord. That is where we cast this show from. I'd post up a casting call for Old Gods of Appalachia. Sorry, I have to say it right. I keep saying it wrong. It's Appalachia is how they call it. Appalachia. That's the way to do it.
Appalachia.
Yep. We cast it from our Discord. I posted up the casting call. Matter of fact, these 6 people applied. I closed the casting call and said, I've got my cast. I liked the 6 that applied. I said, right there's the cast. I want to run with that. That's why it closed early, everybody, because I had these 6 people apply and I said, I like this group makeup. Let's run with this. That's simple. So be on our Discord for that. We also do Zoom hangouts from time to time. It all depends on our spoons and our stream schedules because we need break nights too. And it's tough to have a break night when we spend all our Friday night streaming. But just so you know, you want to catch back episodes, go over to our YouTube channel. All the back episodes are there. I want to give a special shout out to Shawn James. Please go to ShawnJamesMusic.com. Check this guy out. Some of you may have recognized some of his music. It's been on HBO Shameless. He's been on, it was covered in The Last of Us 2. Ellie covered it, and you could hear the song in his earbuds. Shawn James is a good guy. He, thanks to Ford, put us in contact with him because Ford knew him, reached out to him, and he gave us permission to use his music for our intro and break. And I love when artists do that, and I can't say enough good things to it. For small channels like ours, that is fucking amazing. So please check him out. Pop over to his site. Pop over to his YouTube. Got all his songs on there. You can listen to Through the Valley. I can't remember the name of the break song. I think it's Wandering Dove. I'm going to check it now just to make sure I don't do it wrong because let's do it right. Yep. Midnight Dove. That was in the break music. And also Chapter 5, The Raven Mocker from The Bear album. There's a theme to those that match what we're telling. So you're aware. You want to see not just the backup. Now let me go back to the back episodes. Catch all our backups. Just go to our fucking YouTube. Just do it. You know what to do. You want to get some merch, get some studio merch. You want to see some great content creators. We got one right here. We got one in the bottom corner. I'll give them a chance to shout out in a minute. So if you want to support the players, bits and donations that go to the players, not to the studio. It's a way for you to give to the players a little something back for what they're going through. And I know it's a fun game, but damn it, it's stressful when you're fighting the anger, but the anger wins. It's stressful. And, as part of this particular storyline. If you want to support the studio, subscribe on Twitch. They're going to fucking take half. I hate that. Go to our Ko-fi. You can give us a coffee there. Or if you're on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification icon, and comment on the video. That all helps. Those are all little things that help us out. Now I think I can turn it over to my lovely wife for her portion of the outro.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for the premiere of this mini-series of Old Gods of Appalachia. Woo! Nothing like staring down a fucking god. But
He's not. He's not quite a god.
But
He works
damn
for,
close.
he serves the ones who sleep underneath.
Yeah.
He's the closest you'll probably see.
A demigod, then. Yeah. Woo. Okay, I'm going to need a drink after that. But anyway, join us tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern for Call of Cthulhu 7E with Urani, not your Audi in it, joining Tiss and her crew of investigators as they investigate sus-ass shit around Victorian era London. So please join them for that tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. And then on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, you can join us for Changeling the Dreaming. Myself, Mischievous Red, and Ravnos Archon here are in that. And we are getting close to the end of season 1 with that story. And there's a Red Cap that's kind of got a thing for our Lucky Charms here. And he's found a murderer for some folks to beat up. And a certain troll ran off to confront a duke whose operative seems to be behind all this nonsense we're dealing with. And then my character found a wounded Ishu on her doorstep that had been stabbed by cold iron. So yeah, fun times. Join us Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, next Friday.
Next Friday, we are back here with the next session of Old Gods of Appalachia.
Day 2.
Day 2.
So the players know, please, because you went through the night, you can reset your pulls as you passed out through the night. So
I didn't use any.
The first episode doesn't have a lot to roll yet. It's going to get worse. We'll see. And as always, let me go around the table first. Mischievous Red, tell people where they can find you. You got anything going on for them?
Yeah, so I stream on my own channel on Sundays at 5:30 Central when I'm doing some miniature painting now. Woo! Everyone loves miniatures. Working through that backlog. I'm also one of the co-founders of Huntsman's Hydra, which does like a variety of TTRPG stuff, from like accessories, reviews, yada yada. That can be found on huntsmanshydra.com.
Cool. Lanny, you got anything else going on?
I stream on my own channel. I'm probably going to get back to streaming. I'm probably going to stream Good Pizza, Great Pizza tomorrow, which is like a fun little pizza simulator game.
Okay, I like the name of it. Just the name of it's cool. Hey, everyone likes good pizza and great pizza. I'm just saying. If you don't, what's wrong with you? Ravenous Archon, what you got going on?
Hi, everybody. I have my own channel here on Twitch as well. I focus on TTRPGs. Mondays are for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. Tuesdays alternate between Legend of the Five Rings and Werewolf of the Wild West. And Thursdays, I do 7th Sea and my own Tale of Old Gods of Appalachia because I love this game so much. It's such a good game. I'm glad that you're running it for me.
You know, I had the idea for this story while we were playing in yours. And so you can thank Ravenous Archon. Everybody at this table can thank Ravenous Archon for me coming up with the idea of what's going on here. Started as a what if in my head, and it went from there. Y'all haven't even scratched the surface yet.
I just locked eyes with a demigod, y'all.
And it's going to remember you said it was magnificent.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It will remember.
You magnificent.
Dear Dick.
He will remember that, and it will come up again.
I'm sure.
Careful what devils you make a deal with.
Hey, she hasn't made a deal.
Yet. We'll see.
I mean, she might know Jack.
You'll see. Ford, you got anything else going on, or is this it?
No, this is it right now.
For now? We'll see what other games.
Now.
We've gotten you in this one. Maybe we'll get you in some other games later on down the line.
That'd be cool.
And we know where you're at. Find him on Call of Cthulhu tomorrow.
Right.
3 p.m.
That's
Eastern.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Where he plays a totally not sus librarian.
Yes, it seems to be a
It's all
theme
the
these
books
days.
with you.
Yeah.
I know. But it always has been.
It always has been.
I wonder which which will burn down first, the library or the Call of Cthulhu books library. Which one?
It's hard to tell. They're all in danger, every one of them.
All of them.
We're in danger,
times.
says Ralphie in the back of the bus.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Schrodinger's library.
As I tell everybody, please, everyone, take your mental health seriously and take the mental health of others seriously. Please check in on those around you, make sure they're okay. I know a lot of people are not. We just got through the holiday season, but we're still in the middle of winter, and there's seasonal affective disorder. There's, to be fair, it's a rough time of year for a lot of people. Rough time of year for me. I get the stress. They haven't even passed the damn budget yet. So, I mean, it's a stress. But reach out to those that you haven't heard from for a while. Please check in and make sure they're okay, because I know a lot of people aren't. And if you suffer from mental health issues, I want to first tell you it's okay to not be okay. There's nothing wrong with it. You're not broken as a person. You're just a person. We all have ups and downs. We all have things we struggle with, and we all have high points and low points in life. And sometimes we need help, and you should try to get that help. Reach out to those around you, your own support network, to try to get the assistance you need. And I know a lot of people feel they can't. And if you feel you can't, look at chat right now. There's a list of numbers you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There'll be a professional on the other end of the line. They'll help you out. They'll talk you through it. They'll make sure you're okay. And that way you can get the help you need. Please, mental health is health. And no one should have to suffer in silence alone. So you know. And now I'll let my wonderful wife give her portion of the outro.
Y'all seriously take care of yourselves, mentally and physically. Please get your vaccines. Hospitals are reinstituting mask mandates. Hospitals and nursing homes are overfilled. Again, COVID isn't going away. Just because we aren't treating it like an active pandemic anymore doesn't mean it's gone away. Please get your vaccines and your boosters. Take care of yourself. And make sure you're registered to vote. This election this year is going to be very important. And sitting it out is a vote for the enemy for real. So please make sure you're registered to vote. Said with love.
And I do thank everyone for coming, and I hope you enjoyed just this start. Be ready. Good night, everybody.